Right, but you're still recording from...
Gotcha. So if I was standing across the street, does the First Amendment just get blown up even across the street? Is it 5 feet away? Is it 10 feet away? 1,000 feet away?
Already all talked about you folks doing these things, so give
Doing
me your
records
email
requests?
address. Well, coming in with videos and doing this, so I'm not sure.
Tell you
what
verbally
we're
what my
kinda-
email address is as well.
So I'm dyslexic. Do you have a last name?
I do. I'd rather just not provide that.
Right, but I had to provide mine to you.
Yeah, there's a distinct difference between us, though. You're a public employee and I'm not.
All right.
So it's that whole Fourth Amendment thing. The fact
like
that she
we
tried to
were-
get me out of here on a sidewalk of a public building during an open meeting, give me a break. That was outrageous, man. It's the
I
second
asked
time
that
you've
you
acted
not record
completely.
it
Yeah, that's
because we're in
outrageous. You
closed
do that.
session. Okay.
I mean, what do you want to do? Just keep up the Karl Marx
action?
action? Hey everyone, I am free. It's September 19th, 2024. I'm in the city of Puyallup here in Pierce County in the Communist Empire of Washington State, heading on over to the Pierce Conversation. Hey everyone, I am free. It's September 19th, 2024. I'm in the city of Puyallup here in Pierce County in the Communist Empire of Washington State. I'm getting ready to head on over to the Pierce Conservation District. I am looking to do a public records request and see if they have a public records index for me to review. The tips and leads I received are that some people went in. Washington State's a really big environmental green state, and I got some people saying they went in to go get some records and were treated brusquely, rudely, and state that it was made, allege that it was made difficult for them to, in fact, file public records requests. So we're going to see if there's any merit to that and go in there and check into those two things. So while I got your attention, if you wouldn't mind liking, sharing, and subscribing, hitting that all notifications bell so you can get my stories right when they're released, I greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at I.A.M Auditing, on Facebook at Inland Auditing Media. If you want to help keep my feet on the streets, you can do so. You know where to go, to the links in the description for Cash App and Venmo. Gonna head across the way here and see if there's any merit to those allegations. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
Good, how you doing?
Good,
Looking
good.
to do a public records request.
Yeah, come on in.
Great, thanks. Here, I okay. Thank you.
No worries.
I also wanted to see while I was here doing that if I could please inspect the public records index.
The public records index. Let me see if our public records person is actually in.
Great.
We may have to have you fill out something and then we can get back to you. But we've got stuff. If I can have you just wait here for me for a minute.
You bet.
The public records request that you're asking, do you know like timeline of what you're looking for, specifically what you're looking for?
I do.
Okay. Let me go get our public records officer and see if she's here.
Great, thanks.
And what was your name?
Steve.
Steve, I'm Dana.
Nice to meet you, Dana.
So nice to meet you. Thanks for stopping on in.
Yeah, well, appreciate it.
All right, Steve, our main public records officer is not here right now. I think she's out in the field. I can either have you come back or I can collect your information and have her connect back with you either later this afternoon or later this week.
Well, I'm happy to just submit the records request to you verbally, and then as far as the index goes, is that something that is available for inspection?
Let me check.
Okay, thanks.
Again, with her not being here,
Yes, you can.
Well, the index is usually just available.
it is normally just online. But I don't want to. I'm the director and I mess things up all the time and then I get in trouble.
Hey,
for
fair
messing
enough. I'm not going
things
to
up.
cast stones here. I'm not casting stones. I screw up multiple things a day, so.
Hi, somebody was asking for me.
Oh, I just wanted to see where you were at and just kind of have you chill.
Or are you the PRO?
No.
Oh,
That's Gracie.
gotcha.
Okay.
This isn't my computer either, so now this is going to be even more fun.
Okay. So you don't need me for anything specifically right this second?
Thank you.
This. So Sorry, buddy, pardon me. Looks like a nice camera you got there.
It gets it done. Overheats a little too much in the heat though, so. The camera I'm eyeing though is like 5200, so you know.
Yeah.
I'm like waiting on that one. Feel like I'm doing my Christmas save up like a kid.
Yeah.
So the index that you are looking for is just the one of who has made any other public records requests? I just want to make sure I'm getting...
Oh, no. Let me clarify. Yeah, I'm glad you asked. So in the Public Records Act, when you go to Section 70, there's an index that's referenced, and that index just basically, ironically, makes it easier for the Public Records Officer. Mm-hmm. It lists all the documents that you guys have. So if you guys have a colloquial reference to a document that maybe I would say is X, but you call Y, we sort of know at the same time what we're talking about. Because I could look and be like, oh, I see what that is, but they call it Y, so I'll request Y. That way public records officers don't get stuck with the whole, what are you mean? Because that sometimes they'll ask for clarifications.
Right, so that's actually, I am gonna ask for clarification because we do have, we're a public entity, so everything we have is a public record.
No, I get that. The index is meant to help people when they're making requests to actually more efficaciously discern what records are available.
Okay, so I'm going to have you actually write that down.
My hand is a little sore today from some work that I was doing.
So then we're going to actually ask you to go online and do it because a verbal one right now, because I'm not the public records officer,
Gotcha.
I don't.
So I can't make it to another public employee?
No.
Gotcha.
It has to come through the records.
Out of curiosity, so, and it may have changed, sometimes I'm behind the times on things. Did Bob update the administrative code regarding making verbal requests?
I don't know who Bob is.
Ferguson,
You
the
would have to ask
Attorney General.
Bob.
Yeah, I checked yesterday, and the administrative code said in section 03006 that you can make those requests verbally. So I was just going to do that, especially since my hand's a little sore today.
So I would recommend that you give us your email address and your contact info. You can request those verbally. We will get back to you.
Okay, yeah, what I can do is I've got your card.
So again, if you want to leave your contact information, we will get back to you. You can email me.
Yeah.
And our public records officer, when she is here, will get back to you. So.
Sure. Well, what I'll do is just so I can finish, I'll just finish making the public records request verbally, and then you guys can, handle that however
Well,
you
I'd
want to.
like for you to at least write your contact information down then.
Yeah, I get that. Like I said, it's just my hands a little sore.
So that's all right. So if you make it, we don't have your contact information, I can't get it back to you anyways. So.
Yeah, and I'll
I'm not sure
tell you
what
verbally
we're
what my email address is as well.
So I'm dyslexic, so I
Gotcha.
don't know that actually having you tell me these things is actually a really great idea.
Fair enough. Are you a public
Go
employee?
ahead and-
Government.
No, she's a fill-in for right now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Is there maybe the guy that came out earlier? I could get assistance from him.
I'm kind of curious, what are you going after at this point?
Public records.
Okay, so if you would like public records, you can actually give me your email address.
Yeah,
And
like
I
I said,
can
it's just
then email
inconvenient
you
for
back.
me at the moment, just because my hand's a little sore, to just do it this way. And
All right,
since
then give me your email address.
sure, yeah, you bet.
This is, I know, trust me, we've already all talked about you folks. Doing these things, so give
Doing
me your
records
email
requests?
address. Coming in with videos and doing this, so.
Well, I'm working on a story about these people and the
Please
index.
just give me your email address.
It's anonymous citizen WA
Okay.
at proton mail, just like the subatomic particle .com. I don't
All right,
understand.
so I recommend that you actually go online, because it does look like you have the ability to go online and request this through our public records officer, and then we can get back to you. I've got your email address. I'll follow up with you, but for now, I don't know that there's much more I can do with helping you because our public records officer is not here.
Sure, but you are a public employee, so I'd just like to complete the records request verbally if I could. Really, that's...
Sure.
Okay, so I'd like to get the names of all currently employed staff at this facility, dates of hire, titles, positions, respective dates for those, like if people were promoted from one position to the next and perhaps attained a different title, rate of pay, email addresses.
Email addresses are all online.
Work phone numbers, work schedules, and official employee photos.
Oh, I don't think we have.
Well, I mean, they may have a different colloquial reference. Sometimes HR calls them different things.
We don't
or-
have employee. We don't. Yeah, we
Photos.
don't do employee photos.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, I'm really confused as to what you're talking about when you were saying people coming with cameras. I mean, I'm working on a story about the index, and as I can see here, there is no index, at least seemingly so.
Well, there's more than likely an index.
As you can see here, Executive Director Dana Coggin isn't a very nice public servant. She's rude, contemptuous, presumptuous, officious, and I don't believe enjoys working for the public, but rather enjoys lording her authority over the people. Well, let's look at what the emails have to say about that public records index that she said is likely available, shall we? Let's see if Executive Director Coggin is being truthful or not. Well, let's start with an email from September 30th from Gracie DeMio, who's the Public Records Officer for the Pierce County Conservation District, in which she writes, "Thank you for your request. With regard to a public records index, we do not maintain an index per our records policy," and goes on to cite, "The district finds that maintaining an index for use by the public would be unduly burdensome and would interfere with the district operations given the small size of the district and the high volume and types of public records generated and received by the district. We do not have any redacted or withheld any information in these records." So I want to be clear here. What she's done is she has cited an exemption from the state law from RCW 425670 subsection 4A, where they can exempt themselves if it would be unduly burdensome. Interesting here, but yikes, far, and I mean galaxies away from the truth. So it looks like things are not turning out well for Executive Director Dana Coggin so far. On October 15th, I responded back to Gracie DeMio, Public Records Officer for the Conservation District, and I wrote, "Hi Gracie, thank you for the response. Please consider this as a new public records request for all responsive records that evidence that maintaining a records index would be a local agency does not need to maintain such an index if to do so would be unduly burdensome, but that it shall in that event issue and publish a formal order specifying the reasons why and the extent to which compliance would be unduly burdensome or interfere with agency operations. I require the evidence that corroborates the reasons why and the extent to which compliance would unduly burden or interfere with agency operations." And this is where it gets ugly. On October 18th, just 3 days later, Gracie DeMio responds by saying, "Dear Steve, I've sent this as a separate email to keep things tidy in our records. This correspondence is to acknowledge your public records request dated October 16th. Your request has been assigned the above file number." And she goes on to say, "We have searched our records utilizing the information contained within your request, including both our digital and paper file records. Unfortunately, we have been unable to locate any records responsive to your request. Our public index policy was adopted through a resolution in 2011. That's a typo, it's 2014. That was part of a personnel manual policy resolution. As such, we do not have any resolutions separate from that one that clearly outline the reasoning. We thank you for bringing this to our attention and realize the need for this resolution under the state statutes, RCWs, after receiving your original request. This resolution is currently set to be adopted at our next board meeting on November 13th, 2024. Yikes. So what this means is they initially stated, "Oh yeah, we've got an exemption," but when called out and asked for the evidence, they had to admit they did not have it. Now this is not on Gracie DeMio as the Public Records Officer. I came to find out in my follow-up, which will be in here as well. She's a very nice, new Public Records Officer. This is, however, on Executive Director Dana Coggin, and I believe, based on the responses I got, this was an attempt to shuffle me along and make it appear as if they had a public records index exemption, when in actuality they didn't. They put it into a policy. The board did not actually pass a resolution back in 2014. What this means is they've been out of compliance for 10 years. And we will be seeking a resolution at the county level to resolve this.
I am not the right person to ask for this.
Gotcha.
We have an organization where folks are not always in the office. We all wear multiple hats. So our records retention officer is currently not here. As I've stated, if you wanted to make a more, I have now taken your verbal, but
Yeah.
if we've missed anything, I've already informed you, I do have some dyslexia.
Sure,
I
that's
will
fine.
try to get back to you as soon as possible, and
What did you mean by you people, though? Because it almost seems like a bit accusatory. I mean, journalists?
sure, journalists or anybody coming in. I don't often go into other businesses with cameras out, and it's a pretty jarring space for me to be in that you came in with a mask up and cameras out.
Sure. Well, I mean, a lot of places, for example, in Pierce County, Thurston County still ask for people to wear masks as a COVID. We're starting to hit that season again. It's been an uptick in that, so that's a
great.
legitimate thing. The other issue, as far as me recording, is I need to actually gather as a journalist video and audio footage that demonstrates if there's any validity to these allegations. And
Great.
if I just come in and say my opinion based on my memory is X, and I have nothing to verify it,
So wait a minute, can I record you then asking for the public records?
100%
request?
you can.
Okay, sweet.
yeah,
Let me
it's
do
your
that.
First Amendment just as much as it is mine.
Cool. Let me do that, because then actually,
You don't even need my permission. I mean,
well, yeah,
Pretty sure in the state of Washington.
pretty sure you do to be recorded.
Actually,
feeling pretty confident about that.
Yes, I feel pretty confident about that.
Yeah,
Actually,
it's RCW 9.73.030. It's the Privacy Act for Washington State. So when there's an expectation of privacy, you are correct. But in public, like a public agency lobby, for example, there is no expectation of privacy. So now if we were to go, like, let's say, if you invited me to your office to give the public records request, the request to not record in there would be legitimate because it's a non-public forum. Here in a lobby, foyer, corridors, things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So
Did you want me to restate that?
Yes.
Sure.
So I need your name, and then also if you could. So this way, I also have it. So I got
Sure.
no excuse for messing anything up.
Yeah, name's Steve. Email.
Do you have a last name?
I do. I'd rather just not provide that.
Right, but I had to provide mine to you.
Yeah, there's a distinct difference between us, though. You're a public employee and I'm not.
All right.
So it's that whole Fourth Amendment thing.
Brutal, savage, wrecked.
So what I'd like to, my email address is anonymous, regular spelling, citizen, WA, at protonmail.com. And I'm looking for all names of currently employed staff, titles, positions, dates of titles and positions in the event someone was like promoted or whatnot, rates of pay, work email addresses, work phone numbers, official employee photos, if there are some. And since we were talking about it earlier, Dana, I'd like to inspect in person the Public Records Index.
Yeah, and so the public records index was what you first started out with. Yeah.
Yeah, I came in here to inspect. Yeah. Yeah. Good to go?
Good to go.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
You guys have a good day.
You have a good day as well.
All right, so yeah, this place definitely has some issues. The general manager there was, friendly at first, and you could see she was quickly getting agitated. My guess, and it is only a guess at this point, is that the manager here is aware of the fact that they don't have public records index. They're required to have it, don't, and that's a compliance issue. Now, all right, here we are at the Pierce County Conservation District. We're going to go in there and go to the meeting.
Until 6:30.
Okay, and then
So
you're
I will
back.
I'll come grab you at 6:30.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
So that is the district members having a closed session meeting right there. It's hard to say if they might get done earlier or not, but we'll see here.
don't think that you're allowed to record from the window in a closed session. Can I have you just step over just a little bit?
That's 100% incorrect. Just like what it was with the public records index. Yeah.
So, lawyer, do you know anything? It's a closed session, though.
It is closed.
Yeah, this is closed session.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It is closed.
Right, but you're still recording from.
Gotcha. So if I was standing across the street, does the First Amendment just get blown up even across the street? Is it 5 feet away? Is it 10 feet away? 1,000 feet away?
Well, I guess if it's closed session, I can go get a piece of paper and we can set it here then, or we'll have the shades.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right. Here you go, guys. I'm just trying to block the press out. There's no reason to do this, but it is what it is. Look at that. It's absolutely incredible. They're just trying to keep the press out.
We're extending our closed session until 6:20.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We're extending our closed session until 6:20. That's
Oh,
our
that
new
doesn't
time.
seem like an extension.
What do you mean?
Dana said it was going till 6:30.
Oh, she meant 6.
Oh, I was waiting.
Our closed session went until 6. That's what we
Gotcha.
said in the public meeting, and we need more time, so we're extending
That's fine.
it to
Look,
6:20.
I hope this just isn't something though where I know you guys got your chops busted with the whole public records
Actually,
index.
I don't know if you had a copy of our agenda, but I wanted to provide that
No,
to you.
but I mean, you guys seem to be being fine. Totally give you credit for that. Dana has some problems. She was really rude to me last time when I came here to inspect the public records index, which you guys are getting ready to, if you haven't already, pass it for a resolution. If this keeps going, if you guys keep treating the press like this, I'm just going to do a Superior Court filing, and that's going to go back to 2005 for those fines
So
for the
if you
public
wanna-
records.
If you want to follow up with us during public comment, you're welcome to do that.
Well, that's fine.
We're following the correct public process right here.
That's fine.
And I apologize.
But the fact that she tried to get me out of here on a sidewalk of a public building during an open meeting, give me a break. That was outrageous, ma'am. It's the
I
second
asked
time
that
you've
you
acted
not record
completely.
it,
Yeah, that's
because we're in
outrageous. You
closed
do that.
session.
Okay.
I mean, what do you want to do? Just keep up the Karl
Would you
Marx action?
Would you like a copy of the closed
Unbelievable. Sure.
session? Look,
Yeah, I don't
this
mind.
is the description of the closed session that we're in right now.
You really need to
under-
rein in your executive
under the
director, though.
RCW.
That's completely outrageous that she behaves like
Comment under
that.
the public comment period.
Oh, I will. Yeah, looks like they wrapped up. It's, I believe, 6:20 right now. Not bad. It's like a 40-minute wait. 40 minutes goes by quick when you know how to hurry up and wait.
We're opening the meeting back up to the public.
All right.
To come in now.
Thanks.
Okay. I
I do know that there's potentially a member of the public here that might have comments on this one, and so even though we don't actually have public comment on the agenda until the end, I will like to make an exception here and give you the opportunity to make a public comment before the board makes a final decision, vote on this resolution, if you so wish to do so.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, so in this case, I, as a journalist, work on a lot of just public transparency stories. I inadvertently ran across the Public Records Index thing because I discovered it as a tool when I was going through the Records Act and realized with some large state agencies it would help me greatly to use that tool so that I could be more efficacious in my requests. So when you look at A through F in subsection 4 of section 70, it lists a whole list of things like administrative staff manuals and other stuff like that. With large organizations or ones that may have a large array of documents that spread out, it's actually good for the PRO if I can say, because of maybe parlance differences, the name of the manual or the policy or whatever is X. I can see that in an index. It's not meant to index all the documents for the agency or district or commission or whatever. It's just to explain, here's our stuff. If you look at the Washington State Patrol's index, it's 13 pages total, and it just lists the names of all the manuals, policies, etc. It's really helpful and actually takes a large burden off of public records officers to have an index. As it relates to the index here, for purposes of having the index, one thing that is concerning to me is the extent part. When you look in 4A, it says, and the extent of the burden. So certainly there are reasons, such as you may have to hire more people. That would be expensive, kind of like what you were talking about. But the extent of that has to be explained. And how much money is it going to be? That's something the public should know, because these tools were legislated into existence for a reason so that they can help the public. Frankly, I think most people don't cozy up to the fire with a bottle of scotch and read the Public Records Index of an agency. At the same time, journalists really do use these things. They help narrow down information quicker because, for example, one of the things when you look at that list all the way down, A through F, if you can request it, which you certainly can, wouldn't it be better to just, instead of requesting all that, which now I have to do, when the commission is saying, or the district rather, is saying, it's going to be too burdensome to put this together, well, it can be requested, so then the whole thing's going to have to be put together. It sort of becomes pointless at that juncture to not have it, especially when it is meant to be a valid tool. I can tell you, because of a story I worked on in Chehalis, the city clerk told me it's all online. But if you have to go through, because their city was made in 1887 or whatever it was, if you have to go through every single one of their meeting minutes and agendas and all that to piece together things that you need, that is very difficult, and it makes it more burdensome than necessary. So I would at least suggest to the district to consider putting together an index. It would be valuable to the public, more to journalists and the press, but if it can be requested anyways, why not just put it together? Because at that point, you will have the index when it's requested.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, and thanks for the comment time.
Yeah. Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Oh, can you state, I realized that we did introductions at the very beginning. Can you state your name for the record so we have that as
Sure.
part of the minutes?
Yeah, Steve McStevenson.
Stevenson?
Steve McStevenson. MC Stevenson.
Oh, McStevenson.
Yep.
Okay. Got that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. No further comments or discussion? All right. All in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
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 Thank you. That was unanimous. It passes. I will make a comment. We did pass this, and I do appreciate your insights and working with lots of different jurisdictions, and certainly we can chat offline about if there's a basic index that wouldn't be as burdensome that we can, or at least a list of some of our basic policy documents that could be readily available. So we'll chat with them about that.
I would like to please request all of the following information. Everything found A through F in subsection 3.
Are we talking same RCW?
Yeah,
or different?
425670.
All right, give me 1 second to write it down.
Sure.
4270, and A through F, we're still talking 4 or 3?
I did say 4 earlier. I meant 3, where it says each local agency shall maintain blah. So even though it's not maintained, I would like to get everything for the duration of the existence, the entire existence of the commission, or the district rather, A through F. So like all the final opinions, etc., all the way down through F, correspondence materials. And then I would like to kindly suggest that the district just utilize that as the index going forward. Obviously, I can't compel the district to do that, but suggest it at least.
And let me make sure I repeat it back so I've got
Sure.
it for you.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay, so what I have is you would like records that are relevant to 42.56.703 A through F, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I want to be clear, not relevant. I want to request every single one of the things that are defined in A through F for the...
relevant's not the right word, responsive.
Sure.
Responsive is the word
Yeah,
I should have used.
that works. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Responsive for the entire existence of the district, so
Yep.
going back to
I don't know how old the district is.
Oh my gosh, I'm doing math here. 1940 or 50.
Okay, yeah, no, that probably is about what it is.
You also suggest outside of the request that we use that as an index.
Yeah, because I mean, that's everything that the index is. So if you already have it and you'll know what the names and titles, et cetera, of all those documents are, you could just put together, I would imagine it's probably going to be like a 15, 20 page index, and then just use
And
that.
then how would you like to receive these records? Like flash drive, email, what works for you?
And do you guys use GovQA? All right, I guess we'll have to go with physical copies.
Physical
Just
copy, okay.
show up and pick those up.
So fresh, so new. Freedom! It's all for you. All for you. Freedom! Keep your ear to the ground. Talking about the freedom. It's the best show in town. Best show in town. Freedom! Well. Freedom! I'll give you freedom. Yes, it's right. Freedom! Start right now. Freedom! Get your freedom tonight. Freedom! Well. Freedom! Come on, everybody. Young, old, all you lovers. This is our time to rise back from the sand and claim our freedom. Talking about freedom. Let yourself be free. I give you freedom. Yes, it's right. Freedom. Start right now. Talking about the freedom. Get your freedom tonight. Freedom. I give you freedom. Yes, it's right.
Open to the public, open to public comment. Always
Yeah,
welcome.
no, I appreciate it. Thanks. You have a good night.
Yeah, you
Take
too.
care. Have a good night. All right, well, that's it here at the Pierce County Conservation District on November 13th. That was pretty interesting. you know, my opinion is I get it. I really do have the mind that Dana Coggin does not like me. That's fine. She doesn't have to like me. It is what it is. But that, you know, that document is there for a reason. When you look at 3A through F in Section 70 of the Public Records Act, you can see really quickly why an index would be good to have. You can quickly make sense of all of the different kinds of documents that they have so that you can in turn make quick, efficacious records requests. It's a good thing to have. I know people don't use it a lot. It's probably really truly limited to just like, you know, journalists and whatnot that are aware of it. But for them to have just exempted that, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of shocked because, like I just said, I'm going to request the entire records index. So then you will have the entire records index. So if it's too burdensome to have, but you can request it in the first place, why would you exempt yourself from it when you're just going to have to create it anyhow? It doesn't make any sense. It's just really the board of directors there. That isn't even a director Coggin issue at that point. That's the elected directors saying, we're just not gonna, we just don't want to do it. We're just going to go along with something that doesn't make any sense. And that's what they did. But, you know, hey, that's journalism. I'm reporting on the story, the issue. That's why these elections matter. They're on a shoestring budget, it sounds like, from what I saw in there during the budget discussions.